Welcome back to Odyssey News. I am Mike Odyssey, and today the main story for today has to do with the Nintendo Switch 2. I will bring you everything and keep you up to date with all the latest news in Nintendo Switch 2 future. But today, my goal is that when you finish watching this video at the very end, you are up to date on everything related to the Switch 2, from pricing, how powerful it is, and when it's coming out. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Odyssey. Hit the like, press play. You're running with the squad like Xenoblade. Drive like Mario, we on a...
So before we get into today's stories, you see, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask for your subscription. You see, I'm legally blind, and I'm basically losing my sight as we go. I don't have sight on my left eye, and I have about 40% sight of my right eye, and it's just fading away, right? The doctors right now have nothing else they can do. But I have a dream to become a full-timer on YouTube by the end of this year. And I want to ask you for your help. If you subscribe to this channel right now, it'll only take a second. For me, it'll just change my life. So if you could do that right now, I would really appreciate it. Here, we have Monday through Friday Nintendo news. On the weekends, we have products and reviews. And we also have the occasional Nintopic podcast with your favorite voice actor. So I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me, and I just want to thank you in advance for giving me your subscription. Let's move on to today's stories. All right, so it is apparent that with the Nintendo Switch OLED edition for the Tears of the Kingdom, right, and also the previous OLED model editions for Splatoon and others, it's basically what we're seeing is that, well, it looks like the Nintendo Fever is going lower and lower and lower, because right now, as of today, they are still available. Yes, if you visit your local Target or Walmart or any gaming store, you'll see a lot of Nintendo consoles. I just recently visited my GameStop and saw every single model already available, meaning I saw the Splatoon edition, I saw the Pokemon edition OLED, I saw the base model, I saw the base model Animal Crossing edition, and I saw the regular OLED model and the white OLED model. They were all there for the picking, meaning that the demand for these consoles have really reduced, right? Now, it is yet to see whether this will continue with the Tears of the Kingdom edition. After being available for a couple of days, it is still available for pre-order via some shops online, so there's no need to go to scalpers, right? What this means is that the market is oversaturated already, so basically everybody has a Switch and probably a second and third Switch. Nintendo is trying to sell us something we already have, and this explains why now, for the, I think, 4th or 5th month already, Nintendo has been last when it comes to sales, with PlayStation taking the #1 spot. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what Nintendo has in store and when can we expect this next gen system. Okay, so first off, let's start with official information. This is the information that comes directly from Nintendo, and in an interview with Doug Bowser, he was asked about the Switch 2, where he stated that Nintendo is always looking for ways to surprise and delight, and even though they can't talk about the topic right now, it doesn't mean that they're not working on something, and that he has to be very careful on what he says he wants to see in the next gen console. It's very understandable, and that as the president of Nintendo, he can basically not give his opinion on what the next gen console needs to have. So that's the official information we've gotten so far from Nintendo, those comments. Then we've had the leaks, right? The leaks for Nintendo Switch 2 when it comes to how much power it's going to have, what chip it's going to use, compared power to other consoles, and this is where we're going to start, right? So it appears that right now, NVIDIA is actually in charge of the chip, just like it was in charge of the chip for the Nintendo Switch. But this time they are using Samsung to develop a 5nm chip, which is a very, very small chip that consumes a lot less power. Yes, it can give you more power, but consuming less power, meaning perfect for a handheld console. Now, I'm not going to go into the details and give you all the techie talk when it comes to the chip. All I can tell you is that NVIDIA designed this particular chip for their automotive chips, like for cars, for self-driving cars. that are coming in the future, right? But they're taking the same chip and they're modifying it to be able to produce, to work for gaming, specifically for the Nintendo Switch. So that's as much as I'm going to tell you when it comes to techie talk, because I know you're not really interested in that part. You're interested in how powerful this console will be. Now, with this chip, okay, with the chip that it is rumored to be on the Switch, I can tell you that this Nintendo Switch 2, of course, will be more powerful than the current Steam Deck. All right, it'll be like more powerful and a half than the Steam Deck. Now, when it comes to the next gen consoles, it'll be between the PS5 and the PS4 Pro. Okay, so along the lines, a little more powerful than the PS4 Pro and not as powerful as a PS5. So if you want to look at it this way, yes, every current gen game could be compatible and could run on this next gen Switch. Now, it is expected for Nintendo to keep the same form factor we have now, as in dock mode and handheld mode, right? All right, so when it comes to the screen resolution, it is expected to have on handheld mode resolution of 1080p, which is more than the current Switch has now at 720p. It'll make the game look crisper, nice, and the overall resolution or display will look a lot better, right? And on handheld mode, that's for handheld mode. But for dock mode, it is expected to have a resolution of 4K, which will look fantastic. The color's crisp and everything else. It depends on your television screen, right? Whether you have a 4K resolution LED screen or if you have a 4K resolution OLED screen, you'll have a different experience when it comes to that. But at least overall, it'll be a big and huge improvement over the prior Nintendo Switch. So yeah, 4K resolution when it comes to dock mode and 1080p when it comes to handheld, which is still a big jump in resolution. So when it comes to power, it has the potential to be from the PS Pro to the PS5, right in the middle there. When it comes to resolution, we'll see 4K resolution on TV and 1080 on handheld mode. How about price range, right? How about price range? Well, this is where I want to jump in and speculate the price, because according to what Nintendo has out now, they have never been the kind of people or the kind of company to go so high in price where it is not affordable for you. Keeping in mind that they still want to sell more than one console per household, right? This is not just a console that you keep on dock mode, right? Permanently. This is the console that you take with you, and the same form factor will be a thing with the next gen Switch, and Nintendo still has the same exact feeling about they want to sell you more than one Switch per household, right? I know my daughters are going to get their own Switch. I'm going to get my own Switch. I know you're going to get your own Switch, and somebody else in your family are going to get their own Switch to play their own games. So they want to make sure that the price for this stays at that level of affordability. Nintendo, they don't really have to gain much when it comes to their hardware, because their sales when it comes to software, their games are over the roof. Mario is a 40, 50, 60 million seller, along with Pokemon and all these other great IPs. So yeah, they can afford to give us a lower price when it comes to the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2. So here's my price, okay? This is what I believe it'll look like. I believe that the base model of the Nintendo Switch will go away, will be discontinued. Now, don't worry, because guess what? The base model and the Switch OLED are basically the same console. So technically, it will not go away. They will just go away with the base model due to its old LED screen, and will give you the OLED model at the newer price of $299, which will replace the older LED screen base model, okay? I believe that the Switch Lite will also get an update of some sort to bring it into the next gen also, like give it a 1080p screen, maybe an OLED screen as well, a more powerful processor to bring it into the next generation. I believe the Switch Lite will also get an upgrade. Now, the new Nintendo Switch 2, I believe Nintendo will price from $349 to $399 and no more than that. That is the price range for the Nintendo Switch next gen, right? Some of these games that will come on the next gen will not be on the prior version because some developers might just choose to develop for the specific and more powerful console. Now, all of the Nintendo games, first-party games, Pokemon, Splatoon, Mario, all the Nintendo developed games will be expected to be compatible with the OLED model. And now this is me saying that Nintendo's going to continue to keep the Switch brand, right? The Nintendo brand family of systems. This is me speculating on that point. But what if Nintendo decides to do the complete opposite and decides to do a new Nintendo with a new brand, a new gimmick? Now, I still believe there will be backwards compatibility, but I think Nintendo will move forward when it comes to newer games. So all the older games will still be compatible with the new console, but the new games will not be compatible with the old console. So that's where I believe if Nintendo decides to go with a completely brand new name, new brand, new console, new everything. Now, this does not mean that Nintendo might not do a dual release for the next couple of years, right? Because Nintendo still needs to transition well between the old console and the new console. They need to create a plan where everybody feels included and make sure that they take advantage of the over 100 million accounts that we currently have in Nintendo. So yes, there will be a transition period, and for a period of time, the same new games will be available on the Nintendo Switch and the next gen console. But the time will come where the next gen console will take priority when it comes to the upcoming newer games. Now that we have the price out of the way, when is this Nintendo Switch 2 coming out? If it's coming out, well, I wholeheartedly believe that we will get an announcement very, very soon. Now, this is my opinion, this is my speculation, but I believe we're getting an announcement very, very soon. And this could very well explain why the second half of 2023 is so empty. Why is it that the last game we have now is Pikmin 4? When in prior years, Nintendo, at this point in time, the entire calendar has already been filled with games. The reason why this is the case is because the upcoming games will also be on the next gen console, and Nintendo prefers to advertise these newer games on the newer console. Now, these newer games can have their own gimmick related to the next gen console. Therefore, Nintendo cannot give us those games yet. They cannot advertise these games yet. There's a big possibility that we can see the next gen console from May to the month of June. Okay, from May to the month of June. Now, if we get this announcement in May to June, then you will know that we will probably get a holiday release. When I mean holiday, I mean it's October, November, December. Not too late as December, I'll say October and November when it comes to a release for the next gen console. That way, all the games that Nintendo announces in the month of June will move on and will be both on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I want to take you behind the scenes very quickly here and show you the Nintendo Press website just to end this video and give you guys a little bit more information, because I want you to notice something very important. Now, the last thing I want to show you in this video is a behind the scenes look at the press room for Nintendo, right? Here, I can show you all the upcoming games. Now, when we look at this list, we only have 3 more games coming this year that are confirmed and are ready for launch. And this is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, which will make it in April, now in April. Then we have Tears of the Kingdom, okay? In May 12th, this is the big game of the year. In July, we have Pikmin 4. Now, if you notice, there is a little gap here, right? from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to Pikmin 4, we have a gap. Yes, the month of June. The month of June is not there. Nintendo could have very well put Pikmin 4 in June, right? Because right now, so far, we've had Fire Emblem in January, Metroid Prime Remastered in February, Kirby also in February. We also have Bayonetta Origins in March. We also have Advance Wars in April. We have May. And then, what happened here? June. Why is it Nintendo is casually keeping up with every single month? But they're skipping one. They are skipping 1 month. So this is what I believe. I believe this is exactly when Nintendo might announce the next gen console. I think this is where Nintendo will have its own little blowout presentation announcing the very next gen console for release. And that's why that month is completely blank. Nintendo will not be part of E3, but Nintendo will announce the next gen console in the month of June for a holiday release. All right, so let's go ahead and recap everything we've heard about the Switch 2, right? So NVIDIA is working on the 5nm chip with Samsung, and it's powerful enough where it will be categorized between the PS5 and the PS4 Pro, right? So it'll technically be a next-gen console compatible with current games right now, right? Now, Nintendo is expecting to keep the same form factor we will get in dock mode, 4K resolution, handheld 1080p. All right, the launch date for this Nintendo Switch could be in June. The announcement in June, according to the gap that we saw there in the lineup of games. June is a great month to announce to have the full blowout for Nintendo for this holiday season at the price of from $349 to $399, because at this point the Switch OLED will drop down to $299 and the base model will fade away. But don't worry, because the OLED model and the base model are completely the same, along with the Switch Lite, which I believe personally will also get an update of some kind. I don't know if it's the screen, the resolution, the chip, because it also has to produce an image at 1080p. Now, guys, that is all the information you need to know so far on the Nintendo Switch 2. And yes, that is my job here. I will keep you up to date with everything related to the Nintendo Switch 2. So make sure to subscribe to this channel for everything upcoming. I will keep you up to date with whatever comes up next. And with that, that is going to do it for this episode of Odyssey News. Let me know with your thoughts down below in the comments. And before I let you go, I have two important things I want to let you know. Number one, never ever give up. And number two, journey on. Peace.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now.